What up, fish people? Kenny E with Daniken Aquatics. Well, guys, believe it or not, tonight is the night we start the countdown for the top 50 fish of the Daniken Fish House. Part of the top 100 still, however, technically we are into the top 50, and coming in at number 50 is one of my favorite shoaling fish, the Denison barb. These fish are absolutely stunning. They get a max size of about 6 inches. And I think mine are like at 7, but they, I've got one there that's probably closer to 8, but very, very cool fish. Absolutely a must-have in any tank. Well, within reason. You want to probably have at least a 55-gallon or better. These guys do like to stay active and go back and forth. That's why I'm just going to hold still instead of chasing them tonight, because it'll be a minute or two and they'll be back. But this is what they do all day long. Common name for this fish is the Denison barb, bleeding eye barb, Denison flying fox, red comet barb, red line shark, roseline barb, and torpedo barb. Where you can find these is in the southern India on the Malabar coast. These fish will live to be 5 to 6 years old. They say a pH of 6.8 to 7.8. They say they like temps somewhere between that 60 to 77. Now here's a case where not always is it when somebody tells you something, is it always every case. These guys are being kept currently at about 82 degrees. And they've been in here well over a year and a half now, I think it's going on. And no issue. Danny just did a fresh water change in here, so everybody's ultra happy. Did cloud my water a bit, but clean water is always good. A couple days this will be sparkling clear as glass again. Now these guys are pretty peaceful and docile type fish. The only thing I wouldn't keep them with is anything that might fit in their mouth. I think they would take out a fish if they had the opportunity. They are not very picky eaters. These guys have just about anything that I've thrown in the tank. They absolutely will take any of the pellets, flakes, and almost all of your frozen foods. And then, of course, they always don't mind the occasional live brine or live bloodworms. They do well with those. But absolutely stunner. They are egg layers. Most of the captive bred has been by accident. They are known to spray eggs throughout the evening or early mornings. This fish is on the IUCN list and it remains endangered. Declines in the wild populations due to overfishing and human pollution and deforestation have caused this fish to be on the endangered list. They are doing some protocols in their country now to limit the amount of fish taken each year to try to get the populations back. And there is the albino version that is now out that is super cool. They call it the gold version, where they have eliminated that stripe and they're a brilliant like albino white color with bright orangish red where the reds are on this, and they are amazing. Dan's Fish is the only person I've seen with them so far, so if you have never seen them, watch Dan's Fish on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and he always has them in a tank behind him. I think I am going to get them for the Eltum 300 gallon that we are preparing. That's taken longer than expected, but we plan to remedy that situation soon. Now, one thing I will say, this is not a fish. If you're one of those fish keepers that likes to keep your tank open at the top, this is not the fish for you. These guys are notorious jumpers. I once had about 1/8 of an inch space on this tank, and I found the fish the next morning at the end of the hallway, which if you've been watching Daniken Aquatic videos, you know this house is quite large And I found them at the very end, almost going into the big boy room. So yes, if you're going to keep them, definitely tight lid and make sure all the spaces behind are covered, because they will squeeze the slightest little crack. Now they do like a higher oxygenated water, so you are going to want to make sure you have a hang on the back or a canister filter along with sponge filters. They do like the water pretty oxygenated, so that's something to keep in mind as well. It's really tough to tell the difference between the males and the females on these. The males obviously will be a little slender, and if I were guessing, I would say that one was female and that one. See how they're a little fatter in the gut? But it's real tough to sex this particular species. Now, if you are going to keep them, as I said at the beginning, they are shoaling fish, meaning they like schools. These guys absolutely will not, you will not see solos very often. They're almost always together. And I've kept, these ones I've had for quite some time. I raised them since they were this big, tiny, tiny little guys. And then I did, once they got big, I found that my buddy at Wet Spot gave me a heck of a deal on 3 more or 4 more that were the same size of them at the time. So I ended up with this nice, healthy, large school of them, which I don't think I'd want any more than this because they are quite active. And they're in here with my discus. They do, believe it or not, seem to keep the discus pretty mellow. The discus don't seem to mind them whatsoever. But I don't care what your flavor is. If you like color, as you can see, these guys would be a great addition to almost any tank. I don't know if I'd keep them with more aggressive cichlids. I don't know if they would take to getting picked on very well. But semi-aggressive, meaning, you know, fire mouse, electric blue acara, most of your severums I don't think would give them much harm. Probably keep them out of the Oscar Red Devil, that type of tank, but they do great with these discus. The discus don't seem to mind them, and their shoaling actually calms my discus, so they seem to be enjoying it. My poor little mascot there, it's getting old on us. I don't know how much longer he will be with us, but gorgeous. So guys, if you're liking this series, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate that, and we love your comments. Danny and I probably spend an hour or 2 a day answering comments. Absolutely love you guys and try to answer every one. So if it's been an hour or 2, trust me, before the day is up, we almost always respond to the same day that we get the comments, unless it's late at night, of course, but we love your comments. So guys, coming in at, like I said, number 50 is the beautiful Denison Barb. As always, love your fish. This is Kenny E. and my Denison saying have a good night. Peace out, guys.